Babygirl was released theatrically on December 25th, 2024, and is directed and written by Helena Rain. To summarize the film, Rami is a CEO of a tech automation company who seems to be a woman who has it all, and yet she is unsatisfied in the worst way, even after 19 years of marriage. Enter Samuel, who's an intern at her company, who challenges the power dynamics of Rami's business, and in her intrigue inspired by his audacity, Rami seems ready to risk it all. So, in a review of Babygirl, I'd submit it isn't necessarily that erotic. If you compare it to Gaspar Noé's Love or the film Blues Woman's Color, I would say Babygirl's rather tame. But what Babygirl does well is go far beyond the gender swapping misbehaving of authority figures that you might be expecting. For when it comes to Rami, I would say it seems less about BDSM, giving her power over to somebody, and all that we're used to seeing when it comes to characters like this. And instead, it's much more about the challenge that she experienced on her way to the top to being a CEO, having to take the risk of really standing up for herself and stuff like that, that gave her such a high that she hasn't really had the chance to experience in a long time. And with that, having this young man who's so audacious, it gives her some type of stimulation, some type of rise out of her in a way that she hasn't experienced in a long time. And since she can't find a means with her husband to get that sort of high, she decides, you know what, with what this young man is offering, she wants to take that risk and enjoy what she can get out of it. But I would also add, when it comes to businesses and companies in a post-Me Too and Time's Up world filled with DEI and other acronyms, what we also get out of Babygirl is kind of getting a sense of how the next generation are going to shift and cultivate what the culture is, even if it calls for exploiting some of the old ways that culture became toxic in order to not only uplift themselves, but present the guys that they're trying to advocate and create progress for all. But while a lot of good could be said about Babygirl in terms of how it really doesn't want to be simply some BDSM erotic kind of movie, unfortunately, one of the things that kind of complicate things is that as much as you recognize the risk and what Rami is trying to do, at the same time, it's hard to really take that risk seriously since you don't really care much about her family. Never mind, you don't really care about her husband's feelings in terms of whether or not he finds out about what his wife is doing on the side. But overall, when it comes to Babygirl, I'd submit that the marketed eroticism is just a Trojan horse for a much deeper story about a woman who wants actual stimulation in her life. And alongside that is also about those ready to exploit her as not only someone who's in a kind of vulnerable point in her life, but also someone who is a woman in a high power position with others believing she should pave the way for other people to get to where she's at.